Welcome back. If it has joined us watching the news at 10, coming to you on Channels Television from Lagos. A reminder of our major stories tonight. President Muhammadu Buhari extends his leave following doctors' advice to complete a series of tests. Popular musician Two-Face Idibia bows to pressure as he calls off his proposed mass protest. Citing security concerns, he announced the decision in a video posted on his Instagram page. The army situates a military battalion in southern Kaduna as part of efforts to improve security situation in the state. And the U.S. Appeals Court rejects Donald Trump's request to reinstate a travel ban blocked by a federal judge on Friday. For more on our top stories and others, please visit our website channelstv.com and youtube.com/channelsweb. You can also watch us on the go on your mobile device. Log on to m.channelstv.com or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. Having the Channels TV and Channels 24 app will give you access to news and updates. You also have the Eyewitness feature, so you too can be part of the news. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu and follow the instructions to share those pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. To our Eyewitness pictures, we do have some that you sent into Eyewitness portal. We begin with this one in Onugwan Rogo, Jos North local government area. We see the picture of which our Eyewitness describes as a dangerous crossing, and it's calling on authorities to consider the safety of residents and construct a proper bridge. Since the theme tonight is safety, our next picture is from Katsina State, where a trailer conveying people and cattle fell in a ditch, sadly claiming 4 lives. Eyewitness reporter wants safer roads constructed. The third image tonight is from Pipeline Ajuwon Akuti in Ogun State, which has electric poles at near fallen points. The Eyewitness reporter wants urgent action, as this is not just causing power outage, but poses high risk to lives, especially when the rainy season approaches. Our final picture tonight is from Lagos State, showing a huge refuse dump. The Eyewitness reporter wants environment agencies to take action and citizens to be a little more responsible. Thank you for sending in those pictures, and please keep them coming. The Anambra State Governor, Willie Obiano, has called for a visible federal government presence in the southeast geopolitical zone, and Anambra State in particular, saying the zone has been neglected in the scheme of developmental projects. The governor was speaking when he received the Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Fashola, at the Governor's Lodge, Amobia. He says the positive action presently taken by the federal government in the southeast will go a long way towards rekindling confidence and sense of belonging among the people.
In the last 1 week, the Minister of Works, Power and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, has been on an assignment tour of infrastructure facilities under his ministry in the southeast region. When the minister made a stop in Anambra, Governor Willie Obiano was on hand to receive his August visitor and his team. Pleasantries exchanged, the minister commends the state government for its intervention on federal roads, promising that the federal government will not fail to play its role.
I'd like to thank you for the interventions that you have made on some of the federal government roads, and as I briefed you before, the president is mindful of the obligations to the states, and even your intelligence has picked up the plans by the federal government this year to make a provision for a bond to settle all of the state obligations and also various debts owed to contractors. This is part of the strategy of the federal government and Mr. President to use infrastructure to stimulate economy.
He also spoke on the issue of the Niger Bridge.
The second Niger Bridge, which we are heading to when we finish here, the federal government late last year one of the council meetings, approved the commencement of work on the early works form. So Julius Berger, who have the contract, have promised that latest by the middle of March, they will be back fully to site. We're just tidying up their paperwork.
Governor Obiano is pleased with the renewed interest of the federal government in reviving federal infrastructure in the southeast states.
What we are saying here is that we want federal presence in the southeast Asego and Anambra in particular. We've lacked this presence for a very long time. And their presence there will clearly give us a sense of belonging, and improve major activities in our area.
After the meeting, the minister went on an inspection of federal projects in the state. Some of the places visited include the Enugu-Onitsha Expressway and the Second Niger Bridge.
The suspected leader of a cult gang known as 1 Million Boys, Moshood Oladokun, has been arrested by the officers of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, Oyo State Command. Parading the suspect alongside 175 others arrested within and outside the state, the State Commissioner for Police, Sam Adigbuyi, alleged that the suspects have been terrorizing the state for a long time now.
These suspects on parade here at the police headquarters Eleyele, Ibadan, were alleged to have laid siege to areas within the state capital. Notorious amongst them are the members of these suspected cult groups, also known as 1 Million Boys and the Abegi Boys.
They created a lot of criminal activities, which includes armed robbery, arson. The violence committed by this group bear bomb photos Salawisi, Mapo, Idiaro, and several other parts of Ibadan created a lot of miscomfort.
Oyo State-born Moshood Oladokun, also known as Ekubemi, is the suspected leader. The police claim he's been on their watch list for a while. He was, however, arrested in his hideout in Lagos. Other suspects were arrested for offences ranging from robbery, rape, kidnapping, burglary and car theft.
We were trying to rob the car from a woman, but unfortunately God took control and the police were just passing by, so they caught me. So for me, I used the police to get the other people.
As these suspects are charged in a court of competent jurisdiction, one can only hope that with the arrests, residents of these communities will now enjoy a breath of fresh air around them.
Nigeria's bustling population of disabled people are pressing for greater accessibility in a nation where accessibility is said to be severely limited for people with special needs. In this report, our correspondent, Ajuri Ngalale, looks at the daily realities of life facing many of Nigeria's handicapped with a view to new prospects sought by affected Nigerians.
Administrative Assistant Lois Auta arrives early at NNPC headquarters for work, but her entrance is unlike any other. Handicapped by an onset of polio at the age of 2, she brings an infectious smile and an indomitable will to live fully to her daily duty. Though honored at the heights of power for her contributions to Nigeria's handicapped, for this young woman, moved in her soul to be more than a silent statistic, access to society remains largely denied.
On a daily basis, millions of Nigerians saunter in and out of banking doors just like this one across the country. And what is taken for granted by an able-bodied majority is merely an aspiration for a silently suffering minority.
Even the ATM machines is not accessible to me. And I have money, I cannot withdraw it independently. This is what we are talking about. We need access.
Arriving home, Lois endures the same struggles as able-bodied Nigerians, confronted with epileptic power supply and increasing costs of commodities, except that she does so with the added difficulty brought on by a condition she did not choose, but bravely embraces. She advocates a solution.
Nigerian Disability Bill. In that bill, we request that MDAs should reserve some percentage of their employment opportunities to graduates with disabilities. Then for the unskilled ones, we can place them on monthly allowance.
Quietly, the physically disabled move to awaken the sensitivity of a nation, to proceed in empathy, compassion, and love for those who live as a sacrifice for a higher end. Arjuri Ngelale, Channels Television News. Thank you.
The leper communities in the Okegbala area of Kwara State have come out to complain over neglect by members of their families and the government. The hospital that takes care of them was set up in 1940, but it has had its share of difficulty in taking care of them. Our community report tonight looks at how their situation and what the government intends to do to ameliorate their sufferings.
Etisola, now you're talking.
Inclusion is about all of us. Inclusion is about living full lives, about learning to live together, moving about freely without fear of segregation. But in Kwara State, there are those who are not aware of the joy of living among others. Isolation is all they know. They have been cut off from society because an illness dictates their existence. Leprosy. Many of the inhabitants of the Ekwa Hospital in Okegbala, established in 1940, have been here for a very long time, abandoned by those they looked up to for care. But the hospital has been able to somehow cater for all the patients.
This place was formerly a thick forest. As at the time they gave it to them, they came here and they start clearing the bush. A lot of challenges. We have faced a lot of challenges, but to the glory of God, they were able to, open up this place, and they come inside to this place with 26 patients then. And as they are coming in, as they are attending to them, they were feeding them. The SIM then were feeding those on bed. They are making sure that they take care of them, give them food, give them medication, to the extent that the whole ward, because it's a 40-bed facility, the whole ward will fill up.
For the elderly, movement is done with great effort and difficulty. This elderly man does not have the luxury of movement, as he lost his leg to the illness. He shares his sad tale.
It is this leg that brought me here. I have been treating it for a long time without success until it was cut off. Even after the amputation, my health worsened. And to make matters worse, I lost my child that took care of me.
A community like this cannot be hidden from the knowledge of the authorities for this length of time. So how much is known about it and what has been done?
The local government is aware of their existence, and we're also aware of the plight of the inmates of the center. Successive administration before the advent of the Transition Implementation Committee have visited the place and have made some donation, but due to paucity of fund, it has inhibited the number of times of the frequency at which the local government will be able to render assistance. But our government, our own administration, is looking towards providing succor to the inmates of Okegbala.
Well said. But the people living here know the truth about the intentions of government towards them. So all they do is live every day to chance that someday society will come to them and their lives change for the better.
Etisalat, now you're talking.
When the news at 10 returns on Art Review tonight, Sam Ibohon comes out clean on open secrets. Do join us again.